New York is an island surrounded by water. But with climate change, water is becoming the problem to the city's infrastructures, especially its immersed tunnels, the crucial connection to other lands. Klaus Jacob worries about the tunnel all the time. As a geologist, he has been monitoring the climate data for decades. Also, as the advisor for climate adaptation for MTA, he knew Sandy would come before 2012.
All the blue tunnels here are the ones that we forecasted would flood during Sandy. And it takes only 40 minutes from the onset of the flood to that state to come to that.
With Hurricane Sandy, 2/3 of the tunnel was filled with water.
The storm surge came from the south, northward into Lower Manhattan, and then across Morris Street into the tunnel plaza, and that is how the tunnel flooded. Much of the water actually was pumped out of the tunnel from Governor's Island ventilation building. They brought the pumps in and stuck the hoses down and just started pumping the water out. I think there was an understanding that the tunnels could flood, but it was not taken as seriously as it might have been. And Sandy was definitely a wake-up call. We had numerous different consultants working with us, assessing the damage, coming up with preliminary designs to repair the damage. Essentially, we needed to build the wall higher, and we also needed to reinforce it to make it stronger. So the existing wall was simply, for the most part, a granite masonry wall. So we put a reinforced concrete wall outside it. This is our flood wall that was built around the Manhattan Blower building. So this goes all the way around, creating essentially a protected perimeter around the entire Blower building as well as the plaza.
And one big thing that we really needed to try to do was make them lighter. So a lot of times when you do just straight up like hand calculations, things can be a lot heavier than they need to be.
There is theory and there is practice. And yes, hopefully they will do the trick, but would it be 100% no water will come in? I don't think so.
Therefore, to test the function of the gate,
at the shop, we did do a demonstrator test on the first door called a hydrostatic test. And in that case, you actually build a tank in front of the door and pressurize it to the full design pressure. So there you're really demonstrating that the seals and the gate structurally can handle the load and that the seals are going to work the way they're supposed to under the full pressure. And the door did very well with that. In fact, we're allowed a certain amount of leakage based on the size of the door. And as I remember, it leaked almost zero.
So as a result, you will have some water penetration, but it will not be in any way great enough to create a problem.
However, with rising sea level, the entrance of the tunnel still has the possibility of being submerged. From Klaus's roof, he sees water creeping up already.
Go maybe, barely with this house inside, but also focus on the streets. On the current sea level conditions, by the end of the century, the water will be on the street all the time. There's no way you can drive a car there any time of the day.
To build resiliency into a system, the South Battery Park City Resiliency Project is now building a continuous flood barrier surrounding the tunnel.
We still can have tunnels in the future. If you engineer it right, no problem. But we have to have the foresight and the scientific understanding where the climate goes, where the sea level goes, where the flood zone goes, and how much rain comes down from the sky. Once we take all those things into account, it's just a matter of money.
On November 15, 2021, President Joe Biden signed more than $1 trillion infrastructure bill into law. How much will be contributed to the tunnel remains to be discussed. Today, as governors, scientists, engineers, operators, and citizens, we picture the city again and again to mitigate the damage. But when will be the next superstorm?